All right, here you go. Hey, Speedway fans, how are you? Welcome to episode 25 of American Speedway Chat Live, coming to you live from sunny Southern California to around the world. Yeah, I'm having troubles with my Instagram feed. Let me see if I can fix that right now. Go live, having troubles. Oh, I don't care about Instagram. Never mind. I'm going to remove that. We're on Facebook and we're on Crackbook and we're on YouTube. So that's all that counts. It's good to be back, Speedway fans. I hope you enjoy the show. It's been a pretty good 2024 summer racing season, despite getting off to a quirky start with a rain delay at Costa Mesa Speedway. But Ride Paris Speedway was able to open up on an unseasonably cold April 20th to get the season started. I know I was out there. I was shooting video. You've seen it on YouTube. It was cold as a witch's, you know what. But it was a fun event out there. Aaron did a great job as a race director out there, and we'll be able to talk to him about that a little bit later. Then Costa Mesa, Industry Hills Speedway, Fast Fridays in Auburn, and Champion Speedway in New York. They all got their season started, and it's been hectic ever since. On this episode, we'll chat about that and you'll learn about some of the new American Speedway racing champions that have been crowned this year. And now in September, the 2024 summer racing season we only have about 4 weeks left until the end of the season finale at the 54th United States National Speedway Championship at Costa Mesa Speedway. I have a big announcement about that coming up later in the show. And guests Aaron Fox and Wilburn Hancock will be here to chat with us about that as well. I also hope that we have our new California State champ, number 28, Slater Lightcap, to join us in here as well. It'd be great to talk to him. I know he's been working hard on that. Just 19 years old. He is your new 2024 California State Speedway champion. It's very exciting in the Speedway world. All that coming up. Stay tuned. This is episode 25 of American Speedway Chat Live on YouTube Live and Crackbook Live. I call it Crackbook because I can't get off of it. It's like crack. Facebook Live. And I'm sorry, Instagram. I don't care about that right now. I just want to get the show started. Let's go with this. All right. Hey, welcome back. All right. I know that's kind of a chintzy opening. I just don't have time to make a big one. Maybe by the next show, I'll have a nice and better introduction. I like a better introduction, but at least you got something to show you that you're on episode 25. All right, let's get the chat started. I'd like to thank all the hundreds of Speedway fans out there who support and watch this podcast, as well as liking and sharing the XSRA.TV Speedway Race Reports on YouTube. Please give those racers likes. It's for them, you know. You like the racers, they like you. You got to like them and share those races. Also, subscribe to that YouTube channel. Only less than 10% of the actual viewers. We get 20,000 views on that channel a month, but there's only like 3,100 subscribers. So that means another 20,000 are just lurking. We don't like lurkers. I want people to be in there and subscribing, and it'll make us look better, and it'll be able to, analytics will like it, and they'll share more content out to other people. Also, follow us on our Facebook page. If you've gotten these requests to follow the page, we really could use it. I got 1,700 followers on there. Could use 2,000 followers by the end of this month. That would be great. That's just 200 more of you, and it would be great to get you in. All right, first, I get all my information from speedwaybikes.com. If I'm not at the race, I get all my information from speedwaybikes.com, and you should too. It's hosted by RC Jones, and it's got everything you need to know about American Speedway. There are some great 2020, and there are still some great 2024 summer racing events coming up this September and October. First, let's check out what's happening at Fast Fridays Speedway. You've got on September 14th, they're going to have their Speedway Best Pairs Championship. I just spoke to Dave. He's trying to get as many riders out there as possible, but there might be a conflicting event. But Dave's had his calendar up for a while, and he definitely wants to get as many people out there to the track and on the track as possible. So get your ass out there and watch that on September 14th. All you people up there in NorCal. Then on September 21st, will be round 3 in the finals of the AMA National Speedway Championship Series. You know, you've seen some of the cell phone video that people put up on the Facebook page, but you've probably watched round 2 of the AMA National Speedway Championship that I covered at Industry Hills Speedway. As you know, right now, Brock Nickel is holding a 1-point lead over Billy Gennaro and a 2-point lead over Max Rummel. Both of those squirrels will be going after Nickel's nuts to take away the title for sure. So you better get your ass to the track to watch that event, because I ain't going to do it this year. I'm going to try to work on something to get you guys some footage. I'm sure you will like it. Then on October 5th, they'll have their 25th silver anniversary USA versus the World event. I covered that last year. It was great. I had a great time up there. I know the few people that got into the live stream enjoyed it as well. But I spoke to Joyner today, and he said he's going to have fans that will really enjoy this race. He's really going all out for the silver anniversary of that event. So I hope you can get up there. As for their track championship, you know, they keep a track championship up there, and I was working on some points here. I might get into that later on another show. But as for their 2024 track points series on their website at fastfridays.com, Billy Gennaro, Billy the Kid Gennaro, is your 2024 Fast Fridays track champion and point series champion with 1,683 points. How he got that many points, I don't know. But he got 1,683 points. He is the man. He beat out Bart Bast, who came in second with 1,530 points. And Speedway Charlie, young little Speedway Charlie, now racing as an adult out there, he got 1,448 points. I'm looking forward to some good stuff coming from Speedway Charlie Trana. I saw him at the last race. He had some mechanical issues and he couldn't get out there. But you know, Speedway Charlie has the talent. For those events, you got to go and check out Fast Fridays, fastfridays.com. Get to their website. It's the best track in NorCal. Tell everybody you know up in NorCal to come on out to the Gold Country Fairgrounds, and you guys will definitely have a great time. I'll have more information on the National Speedway Championship coming up soon. And so now let's go on over to the Champion Speedway in Oswego, New York. The promoter, Jason Bonsignor, held his last weekend, held the East Coast US National Speedway Championship. And he had a great compliment. I got a picture right here. He had a great compliment of 16 Division I racers, including some West Coast racers, Chris Kerr, Louis Merceroli, and Buck Blair. I mean, Buck Blair, to get out on a track, that is fantastic. You know, he just got off the couch and did it. But Buck, get your butt on out to the track here for the U.S. Nationals at Costa Mesa. If you're racing in New York, you can do it here at Costa Mesa. I'd sure like to see you out there on the track. As they had a great compliment of a bunch of racers, as well as a New Zealand racer, Finn Reed, who traveled all the way to New York to compete in that. Hey, Finn, come on out to the West Coast. We're a little closer and we're a lot nicer. No, you know it. New Yorkers are nice, but you got to get on out to the track and we'll have a good time. Who's speedwaybikes.com. His best as Moto Racing Review said that. All right. I'm looking at some of the stuff. But Buck Blair, get your ass to the track. Would love to see you out there racing. In the end, though, it was the Tiger, Chris Kerr, who stole the event from all the other racers. Chris Kerr was on the podium as the East Coast United States National Speedway champion. And then NorCal's Louis Merceroli, himself a formidable racer, took second place. So both of those guys stole the East Coast Championship away from a bunch of other racers there, with East Coast veteran and multi-champion, U.S. champion, Speedway track champion, Lenny McBride taking third. I wonder if Chris Kerr is going to want to come down and defend his East Coast title against Max Rommel. Can try to take Max Rommel's U.S. National Championship away from him. Hey, that would be great. That would make some great racing down here for the U.S. National, the 54th U.S. Nationals at Costa Mesa. Congratulations, Jason, on a fantastic event. The remaining events this season are September 21st. They'll have their Champion Speedway Track Championship final. And then in October, they'll conclude their season with the Fall Brawls 1 and 2 on October 6th and October 13th. That ought to be wonderful out there. The fall in New York has got to be so beautiful with the summer leaves falling off the tree. The colors are going to be wonderful. Then now let's get into Costa Mesa Speedway right here in Orange County, California. Their return from their summer break for the other tracks, and because the OC Fair Board, they weren't nice to those people this year. They weren't able to have their very popular Fair Derby this season, and they did all they could to do that. But 52 years of Speedway Fair Derbies went down the drain, and maybe Brad and Jaylene can bring it back next season. We hope they can, because I always enjoy being able to go to the fair and go and watch some Speedway racing. That's the only reason I go to the fair, is to go to the Speedway Fair Derby, and you should too. Then they will be returning on September 14th as well for their ever popular Knobby Night. That's going to be a really good, fun night where they're going to bring out all them big old motocross bikes out there with the big knobbies, and it's off the hook fun. Then on September 28th, they'll have Harley Night 2. Harley Night 2 will be going off. You'd love to get out there for Harley Night. Harley Night always excites the crowd with them very expensive machines getting on the track, falling down, and getting into the corners and doing them crazy burnouts. So you got to get on out to the track for those. September 14th, September 15th, if you're in Southern California, get your ass to the track. Get your ass to Costa Mesa Speedway. It's the best fun on a Saturday night you can have, family fun entertainment. And finally, they'll close out the whole 2024 summer Speedway season on Saturday night, October 12th, with the 54th United States National Championship. And that I'll be giving you some more information on with Aaron and Wilbur coming a little bit later in the show. And that'll all end summer season until the 2024 Winter League starts out at Bakersfield. So get your ass to the track. That's all I got to say. All right. I know I got our guest right here, Aaron Fox. Aaron, hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Ken. Thanks for having me, and congrats on your 25th show here.
25th
hopefully
show.
You can, yeah. Hopefully you get these going, start building up more, and get maybe a weekly or start off monthly, but then a weekly show, and start building a base of subscribers for you.
Oh, that would be great. We need more subscribers. I need sponsors. I definitely need sponsors.
Don't we all?
Yeah, don't we all? Exactly. Hey, well, I want to congratulate you on your debut as a race director out there at Ride Paris Speedway. Tell us a little bit about how that went for you this season.
Yeah, I'll be honest. It was really challenging, but fun nonetheless. And most importantly, I'm just so appreciative of the support that I've gotten from the riders, mechanics, and fans that have came out. It hasn't been easy. So we've got 2 left. I've had to postpone one of the races. We're looking at a date early November. So hopefully we can finish out these 2 with a bang. I want to make sure that I can secure a fund for the riders. That's the most important thing to me. And then, finish these out and call it a season. But I appreciate the compliment there.
Yeah. It was really cool. I was only able to make it out to the first 2, but it was cold that first night you held that. I couldn't believe it. I thought it was November or January out there.
Yeah, that was April 20th. I wish we actually had that kind of weather all season around for those races, because the last two events have been quite a struggle. It's 110 degrees at 5 o'clock when fans show out, so it's very difficult. I feel bad, but that's a little bit of the reason of why we moved September 7th to a later date as well, amongst other reasons. But yeah, I wish it was a little bit cooler in Paris during the summer. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you moved it from September 7th, because right now I'm in Placentia and it's 105 degrees out here today. I think it was 115 out in Paris today as well. That's unlivable.
Yeah, I think I made the right decision there to do that. It's just it's hard on the riders. It's hard on the bikes and fans. They want to come out and have a nice evening and enjoy it, and not having a heat stroke. So I think postponing this one was the right idea.
Very good. All right. Well, I just see that Wilbur Hancock popped in. I'm going to bring him in. Hey, Wilbur, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, Ken. How about yourself?
Very good. Very good. Thank you for joining the show. We did a little bit of overview on some of the tracks and stuff if you didn't see it already. But we're going to talk a little bit about some of the Speedway new champions that have been going. But I just want to remind everybody that Aaron Fox is a two-time US National Speedway champion. And then Wilbur Hancock is a two-time AMA 250 Youth National Speedway champion. So these guys know what they're talking about. Me, not so much. These guys, they know what they're talking about. Wilbur, you were having a great season, pretty good season going off. You were getting your season started. You were looking good out there at Paris. I know. I saw you at Industry. You were looking pretty good, but then you had a little mishap. You got a little brace on your arm. Tell us what happened to you.
Yeah, so obviously I had a pretty good season and upped a lot of my numbers throughout the year with main events and stuff like that. And then at the end of June, I believe it was, in Auburn, just got T-boned in the middle of the corner. And with all of my weight being on the back wheel, trying to set the bike straight, it just flung me backwards. And I kind of figured out, I don't know how I'm going to break my fall. So I decided to just break my fall with my wrist there and pretty much destroyed it. It was one of the worst breaks my surgeon's ever seen. It was so it was immediate surgery. I had to reset my whole wrist, and now I got a lot of metal work in there. I have to get out before I can get back on a bike. So it's going to be at least about 2 months till I'm back on a bike. So hopefully by the Winter Series or something like that, I can be up and running again.
Well, I hope you have a very safe, very good recovery. We miss you and Dylan Rummel. Dylan having his off-track injury. I saw him at the track at Industry the other event for the California State Championship. He's still trying to get some movement in that pinky of his, but you guys need those hands for those throttles and clutches. Those are very important.
Yeah, for sure. No, I mean it's a hard thing to break. You need to try to be able to maintain your strength, and obviously I'm able to take my brace off, so I'm trying to use my arm as much as I can. I haven't been losing a lot of my muscle. But hopefully sooner rather than later, I can try to be back to whatever, I was at one point,
Yeah, well, good. I hope you're able to get back on the track. Well, thank you, boys. Thank you, men, for joining us on the chat. I really appreciate it. Let's talk about some of the Speedway Championships that had happened over the last weekend. Last week, we had some AMA Championship stuff going on out at Fast Fridays. Dave had his AMA Championship for the Youth National Championship Series. And we have, let's see, we have, no, that's our East Coast guys. And there you go. Look at that. Riley Rarick is now your new 2024 150cc Mini Youth AMA National Speedway Champion. He's from Weimar, California. And I know he's been out there racing a lot against Ryder Schultz. He beat the 2023 champion Ryder Schultz from Menifee, California, who took second. And young Hudson Jones from Costa Mesa took third. What do you think about those guys racing out there?
Aaron, go for it. We'll start with you.
Yeah, it's exciting. These guys are very, very impressive. They're, always roaring to go every night. You know, Jones having to travel all the way up from Costa Mesa up there, claiming a podium with the help of national champion Max Rummel. So that was pretty cool for Hudson to have him, you know, backing him on the night. You know, we always know riders showing up, rocking and rolling. He's a firecracker, and then Rurick being undefeated. So not a total surprise, but nonetheless exciting.
Yeah, I posted some races with Rarick and Schultz. Those guys are really handlebar to handlebar in those corners. I mean, I don't know how different it is for 150 racers to be handlebar to handlebar as opposed to you guys in the pros, but that looks pretty contentious, you know, when I watch them race.
Yeah, I think Wilbur can attest to this. The 150 bikes are probably a little bit tougher to ride than the 500. You can throttle them out on a 500 a little bit easier, but you know, with the 150 and the power they have, is a little bit more difficult. And I think, you know, being bar to bar might be a little bit more hectic. Wilbur?
Yeah, I mean, I think you got the throttle to try to get you out of sticky situations on the 500, which is nice, but it can also like put you into those bad situations, obviously. But no, I think you learn a lot racing on the 150s, obviously, and then trying to move up to the 250s, you get a bit more power. But I mean, it's a whole other game, just like a whole other game in general when you get on the 500. So, I mean, you learn the basics, and then you also get to experience the idea of banging bars, right? And if you can get comfortable at a young age doing that, you're meant to be a superstar in the end, I think.
Yeah, I think that's the most important takeaway there is them being able to ride that close bar to bar on the bikes. That's going to translate well into the 250 ranks, and then again after that into the 500. So we just need to keep those guys going and help them out along the way.
I think Hudson Jones, being the youngest one on that stage, he's got that winning mentality from his dad, don't you think?
I got to imagine how many sidecar championships and many other things Mr. Jones has there, like 15 time, I think 17 time is what they were saying last weekend. So yeah, I mean, he's you know, he's not scared of hardware by any means.
Yeah, I know. I saw him. He had Max's third place trophy from the other night, and he said, "One day this is going to be mine." I said, "The third place?" He goes, "No, first." But yeah, he's a good kid. All right, let's go on over. We're talking about the 250s. Let's go on over the 250s. On the 250 class, your 2024 AMA 250 Youth National Speedway Champion again is a repeat Darren Armbruster from Auburn. 2 consecutive titles for him. Brady Landon from Roseville, California, took second, and Jamison Hudson from Placerville, California, took third. You know, Wilbur, you're a 2-time 250cc Youth National Champion yourself. What do you think about this year's crop of racers in the 250 class?
This year definitely was one of the first years in a while that I've seen some real competitive racing from all of the people in the lineup. So I think with seeing a bit more of Darren, Brady, and Jamison, with me going up to Auburn a lot more this year, obviously it's been cool to watch their progress and trying to help them out with whatever I can. You know, Brady obviously being America's first world champion in a long time on the 190s, I think it is there, which is awesome. So, you know, he was trying to give it everything he's got. You know, I seen he made a small mistake going into the first corner, and Darren, with a bit more experience, I think, and a bit more mellow of a rider, just kind of calculated it out perfectly and made the pass when he needed to.
Wow, yeah, you would know since you're in that mix a lot for all those years as you got yourself up to the 500 class. I watched you in that class a little bit, and I think it's a tough class to get through because you're growing at the same time you're racing. So every season you get on the bike, your body mechanics are a little different, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, no, I mean, each year that you kind of progress, you know, your body kind of does something different. And if you're not trying to stay, you need to adapt to it. That's the biggest thing. If you learn how to adapt to whatever your body's telling you, learn what the bike's going to do when you make it do what you want it to do, that's what's going to try to excel you into the right direction, obviously. So, I mean, it all depends on the rider. If the rider's willing and able to make the adaptations to the bike, then I think that they're going to be the ones that go the furthest out of all of them.
Well, speaking about going further, let's go on over here to Brady Landon, who did get second there, but he is a world champion now, folks. We have a world champion in the FIM Speedway Grand Prix Series. Speedway Grand Prix 4. Wilbur, tell us a little bit about SGP4 so people can understand what that is all about. And then I got the race right here. I want to show something from the FIM Grand Prix YouTube channel that I stole.
So basically, the SGP4 is the 190 cc's. They're trying to mimic a bit of what Formula One or MotoGP does. So they have the SGP, which is the main world championship, the SGP2, which is an under 21 world championship, which is still on the 500 bikes, and then you have the SGP3, which is the 250s, and then obviously what Brady won the SGP4. So I mean, it was unbelievable. 15-point maximum on a bike that he's probably ridden 3 times, something like that. I mean, it was impressive to watch, and he's a great kid, adapts well, isn't scared of nothing. And when you're not scared of anything, and you know, as long as you can keep yourself on 2 wheels and keep wanting to win, then you're going to go far.
Yeah, I know last season Kensei Matsudaira went there, and he was competing in that. And he was riding on the 150. He liked the 190, had more power, he told me. And he was able to get it a little bit more sideways. I know he went this year with Brady, but I think Brady's been on the Speedway bike a little bit more than Kensei. He's been doing a lot of road racing and stuff. Do you think that 190 gives them more power? Have you been able to ride the 190 as opposed to the 150?
Yeah, I've ridden both. Ridden a 125, 150, 190, and by far the 190 is the most. I think it is the one that makes the best rider, because when you do give a rider that caliper more power, all they're going to do is be able to respect it and then learn how to use it in the correct manner, obviously. So there's a big difference of when you come from a 150, the bike just dying when you hit something, hit a rut, and then you get on a 190 where you can throttle it out a bit more. And obviously when you're going faster, it's easier to slide too, so that always helps.
Okay, cool. Let's check out this really slick production. I'd love to be able to do something like this. I got to get sponsors and a budget going on, but I love to do something like this for you American Speedway fans. If you got to check out how Brady Landon did in this video right here. We'll be right back. That's pretty cool right there. Brady Landon, your world champion at Speedway Grand Prix 4. For people that aren't familiar with that, I know that your dad works a lot in that Speedway Grand Prix space, Wilbur. can you explain to some of the fans out there that might not understand what SPG is doing with 2, 3, and 4? I know I've explained it in the past, but I haven't been on this in a while, and there might be people that are wondering what is SGB4 and what's that about. Could you?
Yeah, it's the World Championship Series for Speedway. It's typically raced all around in Europe, and what they're trying to do with these 4 different categories is create building blocks to find more world champions. You know what I mean? And it helps a bunch that an American has won the SGP4, because all it will do is just boost the help around the whole series as a whole, because now there's all of a sudden an American kid that is getting talked about, and it's not only just Luke Becker, obviously. So it's making big steps. It's helping young riders come through the rankings, and now obviously the next best thing for Brady is to move up to the SGP3 and try to get another title there.
Yeah. What do you think about that, Aaron? I mean, I know we need our racers to stay here in the States and develop into national champions, but there's this unique opportunity to get this international kind of education in Speedway. What do you think? I know you raced in England for a couple of years, Great Britain. What do you think about that?
Yeah, there's a good group of guys right now that are spending a lot of time abroad. Even during our race season here, that aren't contracted to any clubs. And then getting over there and getting practices and soaking up the experience. When it comes to Brady, he's like a sponge. He's picked this up really quick, hasn't been doing this for a very long time. So you can obviously tell he's got the natural ability and moving up the ranks really quick. I mean, he took that world championship by storm. I mean, won that with ease with the mats, I believe. And, just moving up, he's getting on the 250 now, taking it to that next step. And to add to what Wilbur was saying, it just kind of opens the doors, with the AMA and FIM, working together to, do something and create paths and opportunities for our guys to get over there and get back on the world stage. So, having Brady as an American world champion at that age is very impressive, and hopefully it inspires some of the other guys around him to do the same thing, and we can continue on trying to develop riders onto that stage, and it only helps our scene here.
Yeah, I know we had a little bit of a break in our Speedway season between in the end of. Well, we in June and July. Do you think that little bit of a break? I know that Slater and Alex went overseas to compete in the Speedway of Nations, or they did SPG too. But that really helps them when they come back. Or what do you think? How does that work for our racers when they go away and then they come back?
I think what it does for the most part is create confidence. Obviously the track size here going from abroad, it's much larger, and you come back here. It's not about being fast here per se, but it's about having the confidence and when those guys come back, they're roaring to go. They want to kind of show off what they got, and they're just fired up. And when you believe in yourself, you're going to do better. You're going to want that result.
Well, that's you speaking. You're a national champion twice over. And so you have to have that confidence to do that, even in a 250 class, right, Wilbur?
Yeah, no, for sure. It doesn't matter what kind of class or what bike you're on. You need to have confidence. And if you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to really go far in the sport. It's such a mental sport. You could be on top of the world one night. You could be making main events, placing in those main events. And then the next week, I've got it happen to myself. The next week you're scoring 2 points and you just can't feel like you can get your bike going. And that's where real champions, real good racers will stand out from the rest.
Very good. And speaking about a guy who has a lot of confidence, Joe Jones, we were talking about his son Hudson. He is an AMA sidecar national champion once again. This I stole from Flanders. I got it off of his Facebook feed. It says this is Joe's 4th championship. I think there's more than that, right? You said 17. I know the guy's won so many races he can't even count them on both hands. But Joe Jones and Tom Summers got the national championship out there at in sidecar championship. He beat out some newcomers, these new young guys out there, Emil and Ed Overend and Wade Boyd and Eric Lindauer. They came in third. But these sidecars are extreme machines. And speaking of extreme machines and sidecars, there's a guy out. I think Joe Jones and Tom Summers are going to go out to this place in Australia that's being built by a guy named Mitch Binner. He's in Australia creating. See that track? That is a Costa Mesa size track. And he's been doing a lot of work on this track out there. And he wants to have Joe Jones come out there and race the sidecar, because a lot of the guys out there are saying, oh, you're not going fast enough. But sidecar racing is pretty technical. I mean, you guys, what do you think about those sidecars, Aaron? Nothing?
Aaron? I don't know.
Sorry, you kind of cut out there, Ken. Can you what was the last part of that question?
I was saying that the sidecars are, I mean, this guy out in Australia is creating this Costa Mesa size track. First, he's going to have a bunch of sidecars out on it because they are always watching the videos on YouTube and saying, oh, we could do better than that in Australia. But it's a technical race when you're racing in such a short distance, don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, when you create a track like that and it's spec'd out to the size of Costa Mesa, those guys aren't used to that there. They've probably never even been on something that size. So it's a lot more technical, and it's not just about your right hand on the throttle. It's you got to think your way around, and you got to get that sidecar backed in, and you got to have your passenger there working with you to get around. It's not going to be easy. So I think Joe will kind of show him up on that one for sure.
Well, let's hope he makes them eat his dust. So you hear that, Australia? Joe Jones is going to come out there and show you how to race on a track that size. All right, let's move on right here. I'm going to remove that. Oops. I'm going to remove that. Let's look at the AMA National Speedway Championship Series. As I said before, Brock Nickel is in the lead. I got the points right here. Brock Nickel leads at 35 points. Billy Gennaro is just 1 point down. Max Rommel 2 points down, but he made up some great points. If you saw some of the video on the YouTube channel, you know that Brock blew Heat 1 against Max, gifting him 3 points at least. This looks like it's going to be a pretty contentious round 3. What do you think, Aaron?
Yeah, I can't recall it being this tight this late in the game. Prior to the last round, you've got 2 points separating the top 3. You got fourth down a ways, but what you have there is with 4th, 5th, and 6th is Alex, Chris Kerr, and Slater Lightcap. 2 points separates those 3 as well. And Wilbur, if I'm not mistaken, I think top 4 qualifies for a visa abroad, at least in the UK league. Do you know if that still stands?
Yeah, I believe it's top 4. I heard top 5, but I don't think so. I think it's still top 4. Yeah, so
you got Alex sitting in 4th, Chris Kirk, the spoiler,
and then spoiler hard.
6th. Yeah, 2 points back. So those 2 are going to be gunning for 4th. I know they're probably looking at getting a visa to be able to go race abroad and get a contract to go do that. So you're going to have 2 races in itself, one for the championship and one for the top 4 to get that visa.
Yeah, I've got. Let me play the main event from round 2. I've got some video right here. People, you've probably seen it on the YouTube channel. You can watch the whole thing with some interviews afterwards. But let's play that for the viewers right now, so they get a chance to see how Brock played rope-a-dope on that. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about that, Aaron. Using that fence is just something, but watch this, everybody. tape up. Rummel from lane 1. Kerr, lane 2. Gennaro, lane 4. Nickel pinched out. He drops down and swoops onto the inside and takes the lead into the back straight. Rummel has to be wondering where Nickel came from. Into lap 2, Nickel, Rummel, Kerr, and Gennaro. Look at Brock Nickel go. Rummel on the outside to get some speed. Nickel horsing his bike, staying on the pole, holds on to the lead. Rummel looking to pass wide. Nickel in total control, holds his lane tight. White flag, last lap. Brock Nickel low on the pole, holds on to his lead. Rummel with the last chance on the outside. Kerr third, Gennaro behind. Brock Nickel takes the win by a knobby. Max Rummel in second. Chris Kerr in third. Indeed a spoiler for Billy Gennaro in fourth. Amazing racing from Brock Nickel. Max Rummel did his best, but Nickel played rope-a-dope on the start. He let the other racers challenge themselves and took the lead right out from under their noses. You'll have to rewind. Now I said lane 4. Billy had, I always think that the guy in lane 4 off the wall always gets one of the better starts on the outside, especially on that track, because you get so much traction on the outside. But how do you like that about Brock being able to sneak under like that? What do you think, Aaron?
Yeah, well, I spoke to him a couple weeks ago about this very thing, and you know, he's trying to get things figured out with different equipment pieces that he's got on, and he's trying to figure out how to make speed on the inside as well as the outside. We all know he can ride the outside, so it's very interesting to see him switch it up and stay in the inside. It's not really like him to do that, but you can see it was leaving the door open for Max there quite a bit. And Max is notorious for banking off the outside walls down the straightaway and gaining a lot of speed. So made for quite a great race.
Yeah, it did. What do you think about that race right there, Wilbur? Did it give you any lessons?
I think the big thing right there is that we never see big cutback passes like from the first corner. You know, gate 1 typically is always going to try to either stick to the pole and move everyone out and then go back to the pole. Gate 4 is going to try to make the big sweep. And as you were saying, Ken, trying to make a start from gate 4 is always a good option because you're never going to have to slow your bike down a lot unless you're making a cutback like what Brock did. So when you're making that run coming into the corner, you're never going to have to actually stop the bike completely to try to make your corner. You can keep that momentum going. You have a wide straightaway on the next straightaway there. So you have a wide run to keep your speed going into the next corner. So people are never really considering a cutback, but I think Brock put that in a lot of people's heads that, hey, if I don't make the start, I'm coming right up underneath you. And, you know, I don't think we all would have been sitting here talking about the cutback if he would have gotten past, obviously, but he did everything what he needed to do. He cut off Max's line perfectly because once you stick to the slower line to try to move up on a faster line, what Max was doing, trying to bank off the wall, it might not work for you most of the time. So, I mean, it was an awesome race to watch. You know, as being buddies of both those guys, it was cool to see how hard Max was working the bike. And it was also really cool to see Brock just make an absolute amazing last-minute decision to make the cutback.
Right. I was so surprised at it. I know anybody that was there that night was very surprised, but being able to relive it on the YouTube channel means you can kind of use that as a little bit of technique training, I guess you might be able to say, but wonderful event. So I know Max had made a comment that every squirrel gets a nut some days. So Brock, you better watch your nuts. Those squirrels are coming after you. So, so let's go into the California State Championship. I mean, the California State Championship, our new California State champ is your classmate just about there, Wilbur. It's Slater Lightcap, who is one of the young guns, just like you. I mean, everybody is so happy about that event. And then, you know, Max and Billy can't be more happier just to see this guy up there. What do you think about Slater getting this, winning this championship? Wilbur.
I mean, to be honest, it's being his buddy, like watching him do that, especially if me being on the sideline, I wouldn't want another person to win it. You know, it's working hard with him to try to figure out different setups, come up with different ideas, game plans before the first before the first gate drop there, you just so many thoughts running through your head. And like everyone was saying in the main event, if he wasn't, or if you weren't going to win it, you want the kid to win it, So, I mean, he's worked extremely hard. He's gotten to the point where he needs to be. And hopefully a lot of teams are going to start talking about him overseas, because he's up for the challenge, and you can tell that he's ready to take the next step.
Right. And Aaron, you were in this event. You got up off the couch, or you got off your desk. You're a new dad. You're like, I was very happy to see you. I'm always very happy to see you out there. You were playing a spoiler that entire evening, just like Chris Kerr. But you had all the potential to get in there. You got in the semi. You didn't make it, but to the main. But what was it like racing against 19-year-old Slater Lightcap, when you've seen him in the pits running around playing with all the other boys while you were all serious winning your nationals?
Yeah, it's wild to think about, because just like you said, I remember him just as a little kid, 8 years old on the Pee Wee bikes or whatever it was at that point in time. But to see what he's doing now is pretty impressive. So I knew it was only a matter of time. We all know he's got pace. It's just about getting that experience and getting in the right mindset, especially towards the end of a night of racing. That's where a little bit of experience and some critical thinking will help. And he's just about getting to that point. Obviously, winning a state championship against the national champions is no easy feat.
Well, you did really good that night too. You had 12 points with 1 point in the semi and 13 points overall. I want to congratulate you for just getting off the couch and getting in there and spoiling like Chris Kerr. So you still got it, baby. You still got it. But I really enjoy having you do things like this as well. But I love seeing you on the track. I've always told you that. And Wilbur, I can't wait for you to get out there after your injury is healed. But let's take a look at that final. It was kind of contentious. Hey, man, I didn't make up the video. The video is proof of what happened. Let's take a look at that main event right here. I have not done any editing to it. This is just my shooting, no narration. Maybe people will like it, but I'm going to put narration on it later. I don't care what you think. But here, check this out. All right, the champagne bath. That's his first one, I think. Not being used to not tossed around, but a champagne bath. You need to get one of them, Wilbur.
Yeah, been waiting for one. It's been a while since I've been on the podium, so watching that video obviously makes me pretty stoked for him. He rode a great ride, and you can see that he was pulling away. Obviously, there was a bit of controversy there in the first corner. As a racer myself, I would have probably liked to see a restart, just because whether if it was with 3 riders or not. I'm just with the European rules and stuff like that growing up that way. I just think that a rider goes down in the first corner, it's pretty much rule of thumb that there should be a restart. Now, obviously, I'm not the referee, and the referee makes the call. So, I mean, you can't pause that at all.
Yeah, Aaron, I as a broadcaster and videographer and producer, I thought it should have been called back, but I'm not the referee at all. But he makes the calls. But what do you think about that? I mean, you had the California State champ fall out in the first corner. Obviously, he didn't go down by himself. He knows how to turn that corner. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I 110% agree with you guys and what Wilbur's saying. You know, he started to build some speed on the outside there, and those three guys all want that same spot as well, and he just ran out of room. I mean, if he stays in it and stays on the bike, he may be into the wall, so he goes down. But typically, that's a restart, kind of a four rider bunch into the first corner. What's interesting is earlier in the night, you'd had 4 riders complete 1 lap. You'd have 1 rider fall, say in turn 2, and next thing you know, it's all 4 riders back. Usually that's an exclusion for 1 rider. So it's interesting to see how the call worked out there. I agree with Wilbur. I would have liked to see a restart with all 4, especially for a main event of a championship.
Yeah, for a championship, especially from my end, I would have liked to seen a restart. But you had a rider fall down in lap 2, and just barely get out of the way. I can see how you might restart that, but you could have let it keep going too if he would have got to the wall in time. But I saw a couple restarts there, and then I didn't know why that didn't happen. But hey, that's Speedway, folks. In America, it could go either way, or however. But I enjoyed the show, and hey, Slater, you earned it. You earned it because you were kicking butt. You got 10 points on the night, and then you got 2. You got the semi and the main. You won those, and you were just racing the wheels off of that. I know that I know your dad was so happy about that. Everybody back there was very happy, and I was pleased to see you because I've been watching you race since you were a peewee as well out there at Costa Mesa, and then to see this development. And that's what it's all about, right, Wilbur? I mean, the development is what it is all about. That's why SPG is doing what they're doing. And Kelly is holding his, he has his gumball rallies. I know he's got a schedule next season, but it's going to start with the gumball rally. But this rider development is what we definitely need, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing to try to grow the sport. So no matter what you do, you're going to need to keep in mind the juniors. The juniors obviously want to do good to progress themselves in whatever class they're going. But I mean, an even bigger and more important thing is to make sure that they keep wanting to do it. You need to keep it fun. And if you're not having fun in Speedway, it's an expensive sport to just be throwing money away at. So it's you got to make sure you're having fun. And if you're winning, most certainly you're having fun.
Yeah. Okay. So rider development is important, folks. I know that Evans has got some rider development stuff out there. The end of this month, he's got a. Let me try to do something here. Hold on. Let me get rid of this. Oh gosh. All right, there. That's better. I know that Evans has got a rider school coming out. Gino Manzares is supposed to be there. Check the Kevin Harvick Raceway or the Kern County Raceway Facebook page. Get your butt out there on the 29th of September. Get the kids on the track to learn. I know that Gino's going to be a great help. You've learned from Gino, haven't you, Wilbur?
Yeah, me and Gino discuss a lot of things. Obviously, we're constantly discussing different setup ideas, and I know now, if we're in the same class, so you don't want to give out too many pieces of advice, because all of a sudden you might have that start backfiring. So.
Yeah, I know a couple seasons ago when he was at a US National at Costa Mesa, he was racing a line, and then Slater got into him in the back straight, and Slater was out of the race, and that was it. But speaking of US Nationals, I got the special announcement we all been waiting for. Boom! XSRA.TV will be live streaming the 54th United States National Speedway Championship live from Costa Mesa Speedway. And Aaron Fox and Wilbur Hancock are going to give the play-by-play from the event. How you guys like that?
I think it's great. I've unfortunately been ruled out of the race due to the injury, so obviously I want to stay involved. And obviously, when when you contacted me about it, I was all for it. And yeah, Aaron, what do you got to say?
Yeah, I agree. Wilbur, to your point, obviously we'd like to see you in there, but this is the next best thing. And a couple weeks ago, we got to work together up in the booth at Paris and commentate and announce the race, and we had quite a good time. So I think this is going to be a great thing for the event and the live stream.
I think it's going to be a great thing for the event. You know that hundreds and thousands of people want to see another race at Costa Mesa Speedway if they can't make it there. It's the first time in almost 30 years that Brad and Jaylene are going to allow something like this to happen. I asked Brad about June, what do you think? What do you think? And he said, he gave it some thought and he said, well, okay. So the world is going to be able to see the track, the best racers on the West Coast. And hopefully this will entice Chris Kerr and Louis Merceroli to come on down there to defend their West Coast 1 and 2. What do you guys think? Can we get them down there?
Yeah, I think so. There's nothing stopping them now. I think Chris has been doing great this year, and he's kind of picked up another love and second wind of Speedway for him in his career. So I think he'd be stoked to make it down there. And obviously with Louis as well, Louis rips. And I just seen that Louis was out in New York doing that outlaw, or I think the US Open, I think it was. So it was great to see, and hopefully we can see them come down for this race. So it'll be great to watch it as a racer and as a viewer.
Fantastic. And Aaron, I know that you're a two-time champion, and then you said you weren't going to race it, so I had to tap you for it, and I thank you very much for agreeing to do it. But do you think you're going to miss being out on the track, or is Lindsay going to like that you're not going to be out on the track?
I don't think I'm going to miss it a whole lot. I had, I believe, 11 nationals that I participated in. And they're nail biters, and especially when you're in contention, it's a mental game, and it wears on you. And not that I don't think it's fun by any means, but I'm going to be glad to watch it and commentate from the booth with Wilbur and watch the excitement. I think there's a new group of guys now that are a lot better than I am and a lot more exciting than I was. So
Shoot, exciting.
Like you said, there's some NorCal guys, Chris, Louis, and I think probably 4 or 5 more. So they got a good half dozen guys, obviously with Billy that can contend to win this. So we're in for a treat. This is going to be absolutely fun.
Yeah, with Max defending his title, and you Slater Lightcap being very contentious out there on that track. I don't know if Gino will come, but hey, Gino, if you're listening, maybe you can be in that event as well. But I'm just very happy that you guys are going to do this and be involved with this live stream. I think it's going to add a new dimension, something that I've been wanting to do for a long time, but I've got a lot of work to do. I need sponsors. I'll be calling you sponsors. The world is going to see your product. The world is going to hear your service. The world is going to see Costa Mesa Speedway on this pay-per-view live stream like they have never seen it in 30 years. But hey, wait a minute. You said more exciting than you. I won't forget that one. I think it was 2019 where you your bike ended up on the wall. Aaron, you remember?
That was 2013.
2013, where your bike yeah, I know. I was there shooting it. That is contentious. That was Billy Hamill, Billy Gennaro, you, and who else was on that line? I can't remember right now.
Sean McConnell.
Yeah, Sean McConnell. Speaking of Sean McConnell, we'll talk about that, but that was a hell of a race, and I'm glad you got up and were able to get back up on the bike and race again.
Yeah, from that standpoint, I guess you're right. That was an exciting one. I don't think anyone will forget that one, putting a bike, hanging it on the first row there like I did, and thought I blew out my knee. I couldn't move my leg at first, and then somehow the pain just went right away. Obviously, I think adrenaline kicks in, but I was lucky to able to get up and get back into it. But I'm not much of an exciting rider as far as some of the other guys and these days, but when it comes to that race, I guess I agree with you. That was something else.
That was something else. And anybody that wants to see that, just look back on the YouTube channel, search for US Nationals. It's up there, and you can see an exciting crash. I don't like showing crashes, but I like when you get up. And there was a couple nationals a couple of years back where you got into it with Austin in turn 1, and I'm glad to see both of you get up. But I think that was the end of his race that night. And you were able to continue to race. So this is a very contentious night, everybody. It is the most important night at Costa Mesa Speedway. I'll be talking to Brad Oxley tomorrow at the track about that. We'll post some stuff. We'll be doing some more live streams about this. Guys, I definitely want you to be on those live streams. Podcasts, so where we can talk about it and build it up and get as many people to come out to the track as possible, because we want to fill the track like we normally do, so the world sees how many Speedway fans are in Southern California. Right, guys?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're in for a treat. Brad's done a good job this season filling the stands. In the Nationals, we're in for it. I think we're going to have a packed house, and you've opened up the doors to allow viewers, that aren't able to make it, to be able to watch it live as it's happening. So as you said, it adds a whole new dimension to it. And I think this opens the door for some new opportunities to come with your program and other things along the way.
Very good. Thank you very much. And I hope I will do you guys justice, because you guys are the racers, and the racers themselves, the promoters, and the sport justice. But also what's going to happen is it's going to be Sean McConnell's final race. It'll be Eddie Castro's final race, regular season race. And I do believe Bobby Schwartz will be his final race, though he doesn't want to stop. So there'll be 3 top icons and professional racers that'll be their final race. And on the live stream, you'll get to see it, but it's better to be there at the track to see it. Aaron, you've raced against those 3 guys for years. Bobby has been one of the guys that you've been racing after. All 3 of those guys have been people that you've raced after. What do you think about those guys leaving this sport and now this new generation coming up, like Wilbur, Slater, Max, Brock, and so on?
Yeah, I think there'll be a void for sure. Obviously, the fan base they have alone is pretty incredible. Obviously, when you talk to people that haven't come to Speedway over the years and haven't been lately, those are the names you bring up. You talk about Bobby, Flying Mike, Eddie, Sean. So they're going to be missed. And to your point, I think there's a great group of young riders coming up that are going to have to fill that void, and we're going to have to, back to your rider development point, get everyone going again and start filling up these programs and getting fans to the track.
That's right. And Wilbur, you've come along. You've been able to get on the track with these legends and race against them yourself. With them leaving the track, that's 3 guys you don't have to worry about. But what do you think about that? These guys leaving the track at the end of the season, for American Speedway. What do you think that means for you young guys that are coming in?
Well, I grew up watching them, right? So it's going to be hard to be able to say see you later to them, but they're icons in itself, and when even you get so much respect for them when you line up next to them. So whether you beat them or not, it's always a cool thing to be able to line up next to them. But yeah, it'll be tough, seeing 3 icons disappear from the sport. But hopefully in the long run that'll try to boost some other riders to make it back on the scene. Yeah,
that's right. As a fan, I've known about these guys on the track since the 80s when I first got into speedway racing, and it became a sport, a motorcycle sport I truly love. I'm hoping that you guys and newer kids can come along. I'm looking forward to seeing Levi Lutz get on a 500 pretty soon. I'm looking forward to a lot more of these younger guys coming up and becoming icons of the sport themselves. So there's a picture right there at the California State Championship. It's a group shot of all the racers, and somebody has a nice sign there. Says we love you, Mad Dog, and everybody's going to miss those three guys. I know I'm going to miss them, but I'm going to enjoy highlighting all the new racers coming up and making the world, helping the world understand that America's still got speedway racing going on, and people just need to get their ass to the track, right? Anyway, I am going to pull that down. I want to say thank you guys for joining us on American Speedway Chat Live. This is the 25th episode. Thank you, Aaron, for recognizing that. We'll be back another time this month in a couple more weeks. We're going to talk about the US National Championship a couple more times before it happens. We'll tell people about the AMA Nationals that are going to round 3 coming up. Let people know who will be the winner there. I'm looking forward to some good things on that, but I'm really looking forward to the end of this season, and then getting into your winter league. You know, Evan's doing that winter league stuff, keeps you guys nimble, keeps you guys going. But this is April through October is your traditional season, and I know everybody appreciates it. So thank you, gentlemen, for joining me here, and we'll catch you on another chat.
Absolutely. Thank you, Ken, for having us.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, Ken. Thank you. Wilbur, we'll see you soon.
All right. We'll see you guys at the track, and I'll see you later. All right. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining me on Speedway Chat Live. It has been a pleasure to bring the racers to you, and it's going to be even a bigger pleasure to stream the 54th United States National Championship from Costa Mesa. I know everybody in the world wants to see that. I know everybody in the world wants to go there. But if you're living in Oregon, if you're living in Texas, if you're living in New York, if you're living in Hawaii, if you're living in England, if you're living in Australia, if you're living in New Zealand and you can't make it, we'll bring the track to you on xsra.tv. I want to say thank you very much for joining me. And if you're at the track, I'm over there like this, next to that sign. Come on by and say hello to me. I'd love to see more fans. I'd love to talk to you. I'd love to see ask you questions about what you'd like to see on some of my Speedway race reports, on what you'd like me to try to do to bring more races to you. I enjoy doing this, but it's only as good as you guys give me. I need subscriptions on the YouTube channel. I need followers on the Facebook page, and it all come down to having a good time at the track and for Speedway. And I want to thank everybody for joining us. And until next time, get your ass to the track. See you at the track.